Well, morning all. If you got a commercial fishing boat, you know things come in threes. Shit weather, shit money, shit jobs. Well, today we've got all three. Just look at that. Wheel bearings are flapping in the wind, so one shit job. It's a little bit sunny now, but it's been peeing down all day on and off, so shit weather. And replacing the bearings is only going to cost me money, so shit money too. So we've got the whole three combinations. I can't wait. See these bearings, they're shot to bits. They're all full of seawater and nastiness. So they'll probably be a sod to get apart. But that's one of these jobs what's got to be done. The best positive is I've got a tractor, so I ain't got to play around with jacks and all the other malarkey. I just use the hydraulic arms to lift the boat up. So obviously lift up the boat, wheel come off the floor when you got twin axles, so you ain't got to play around with jacks. But typical sod's law, that's the rear wheel was stuffed. So and I got unhitch the trailer, turn it round, and then I can lift it up. Gonna be sod's law, innit? That's never the other way round. Well, coming down the boat, that's the law, innit, to have a quick look at the sea. Bit of a northerly wind here, bit of a scuffle on the surface. You could do it if you were hungry. The problem is there's a high pressure. If you look out there, the water's sheer as buggery. And you can put as many arrow nets as you wanted and you're not going to get bugger all in the daytime. Because it's sheer as hell and herring don't like sheer water. I saw a couple of our friendly little furries swimming about, so they're obviously hungry. But instead of staring at the sea and wishing I was out there, what I didn't really, I got on with the trailer bearings. Well, that's going to be easy enough to do. All I need to do, pull the boat onto the car park, stick a scaffold pole between the wheels, take out the pin, go to the other end, go to this end, put the pin back in, and then I can lift these rear wheels up. Easy enough to do, but there is a bit of a design fault. I can't see the drawbar pin with a winch there, so I got a sort of half-assed guesstimate, so it's a bit of a bugger, but that's not the end of the world. I'll survive. I don't know if you can see that bit of water on the floor. Well, this day's just started great. We put these fish boxes here to stop the brains of Britain parked in front of the boats. So we'll just kick the box out of the way. Didn't realise I had a little bit of water on it. The water obviously sloshed off and now we've got a wet foot. Should I just goo them, call it a bad day and write it off? Well, obviously the first thing to do is get your trusty breaker bar and a 24mm socket. Obviously before you lift it up the hydraulics, just break off the nuts. Easy enough. As you can see, they come undone ever so easy, so I smear everything with loads of grease. It's greased up more than a fat bird in a pork pie factory. Maybe you shouldn't have said that, and maybe that's not politically correct, but ayo. I've opened my mouth a bit too much today. Yeah, I don't think the old money tag will go on today, so we'll get 3 pence for this video because I said bad words. Well, let's lift up the hydraulics and get this bloody wheel off. Well, in true cowboy style, I got 2 fish boxes out. This one for putting filthy dirty crap in, and that one for putting relatively clean stuff in. If you ever want to keep bearings spotless when you put them together, don't do it down the car park. But needs must, and trying to get this boat round my house and in the drive would be a bloody nightmare, so I'm not going to bother. But there you go. Dirty
clean. I just got to quite work for NASA standards, but it's good enough for what I want. Oh, we better get these wheel nuts undone instead of just talking about it. Well, that's the wheel all off. Leave that gorgeous hub of joy. See, I need a bit of, you can see that because the trailer's stainless, but I put obviously the hubs, the steel I welded on dissimilar. I coated this with Galvafroid, but that's all starting to lift. But what I'll do, I'll give it all a good coat of mixture of grease and oil before I put it back on. But obviously see, this is wobbly as hell, so the first thing I'll do is knock off that front cap. Well, the first thing you do, you've got to drive a wedge in the cap, and just to pull that away, and once you've got a bit of a space there, you can then tap it off. I've got to admit, I ain't got all the proper tools today, so it's a bit of a budget and wing it, but there you go, that's life. And look at that, it's all a bit crusty in there, isn't it? As you can see, the grease is all dried up and that looked rather pup. All bits of bearing and all lovely stuff. So I better start cleaning that out, better I? This is when you want plenty of carrier bags. Simply you want to leave the crap on the car park. Just scrape all this. Trying to see what was what. Looks like a castle up there. There's quite a big loop on it. That might actually be an R-clip. Let's give that a pull. Oh, that's actually a trusty R-clip. That makes things a lot easier. Put that in the dirty box. The next thing to do is try and undo that nut. I ain't got a spanner that big, so let's see if we can get this loose. Starting to go. So you can't beat a trusty bit of aluminium. I've had this aluminium for about 28 years, given to me by an old boy when I started my apprenticeship. Bloody handy. That's tight in places, I think I'll have to screw it a bit by hand. I'm sure there'll be a few people saying, oh, you ain't got the right gear, but you've got to do what you've got to do at times. I ain't got a socket that big, or a spanner, well not here anyway. See, use the bag so I get all turned on me. There it is. Look at that beast. You see it's all dry, the ring's gone, and a couple of them rollers are on the side. So that can do it a lot of good, is it? Out come this beast, copper hide. Come out first. Let's loosen it up a little bit. Problem here, I ain't got much of a room to hit it properly, and with my dodgy tennis elbow.
Certainly grease in there. I'll keep on hitting that till that starts coming off. And it's been a complete sod to get off. We moved it about a mil, so I cracked it. But that's tight. I don't know, I wish I had a good set of pulling gear. Put it over the lot and draw it off. But I ain't, so I can't. I don't know how well you can see this, but obviously there's a seal there. And the outer part of this hub is all rusty and crusty. And if you pull that over that seal, even though the seal's leaked a bit, it's not destroyed. So all I do is spin it around. And then if you look there, you're taking off a lot of that crap off the face, so when you pull that seal off you won't damage it anymore. Only simple, but does the job. Well, this one's becoming a bit of a sod to get off. I'll probably move the bearing about 5 mil, but that's fighting all the way. When I tightened and greased up the other side a few months ago, that came off easy. But this one ain't. Cool, I wish I had some pulling gear. I've been off in 5 minutes, nice hydraulic set of pulling gear, lovely. But I got what I got and crack on and get on with it. Don't know how well you can see them, but that's the rollers. What happened, I managed to get a screwdriver in and start popping some of the rollers out. Once I got all the rollers out, I could then knock the whole thing over. You can see there I've moved it about 10 mil, but now that's a lot easier, so I can get a bit of aluminium at an angle on there and give it a damn good thacking instead of fanning around what I was doing before. So obviously when you're hitting it through the hub, it's not a direct hit, is it? Well, now with the hub off, I can see exactly what was going on. Because I've only got a short throw here with a hammer and a long one there, I'd knocked it on the skew-if. Once a bearing go on the skew-if, that ain't going anywhere, it's locked up. So now I can whack on this side and get it tight. Or free it off. Oh, look at that. Trick with bearings to keep them square. Look at that, easy peasy. But yeah, it's obvious enough. I could get my hammer in there and get long reach, and here only a little one, so it went on the skew-if. Once on the skew-if, that's it. Well, that's off. Now for the next one. Well, the easiest thing to do is break the cage up. Once you break the cage up, you can then start knocking the rollers out. Once you knock the rollers out, you can start and hopefully get the old cage off. Look at that. Struggle, bit of a bugger. I'll get the trusty bag, knock them all straight in the bag. Now that's going to be the hard bit, because that surface there is all crusty and horrible, and that's all need cleaning up. Well, if you look there, look all crusty, and I've got to try and pull that over that. So the first thing I'm going to do first is get the old trusty steel rule, because I ain't got a scraper on me. I'm going to go over all that and clean all that up. Give it a good scrape. I'm surprised how quickly that's coming up. Alright, in the real world you'd have a nice scraper. Just trying to clean the faces off. See what's crap in there. It's a bit hobo style, but that is what it is. I wish I'd have brought more tools down here with me, but I didn't. This is just to get the worst of it off. And now here comes trusty file. I am right-handed. Obviously got to pull a bearing over that face, so you want that clean.
that's come up lovely. A bit awkward because I'm hanging upside down doing this, but I'll go around it all, make sure that's spotless. Or pretty good, should I say. That'll never be spotless. Well, doing that, the old file's getting clogged up, so just get the old wire brush and give the file a clean. And then I can go and do the bottom half. Well, after a few minutes of cleaning up, you see that's all started to come bright and nice. Or it's not perfect, never will be. And in the real world, I wish I had a bit of emery cloth to go over it. But I ain't. I didn't remember everything. So now I'm just going to run a bit of spray around it, oil, to try and get under that bearing, and hopefully I'll be able to knock it off. As you can see there, the edge of the bearing is chipped already. Well, I know getting this crusty old inner race is going to be a nightmare getting off. And if I slip, I don't want to damage that thread, so I'll just put that lock nut back on. You can get away with hitting the lock nut with a drift, but you can't with the thread, so put the lock nut back on, so if that go or you slip, you don't damage the thread. A lot of people spent a lot of hours with a thread file cleaning that up, and I didn't want to be one of them. Lesson learnt when I was an apprentice. I would really like to go and get the old gas torch and heat that inner race up, but I am a bit worried about that seal. That seal is still good and I don't really want to damage that. See that? The lip is all started to go, so just put some spray on it and hopefully that'll soak in a bit. You see, this is a real life taking the bearings apart. A lot of these videos where you see replacing wheel bearings, all the bearings would look like new, all shiny and nice, everything's spotless. I've got all hydraulic pulling gear and all the lovely stuff. And this is Mark 1 real life crusty seawater rusty crap taking the bearings off. No lovely pretty stuff here, trust me. Well, I just had a very nice man, Richard Thurlow from Case of the Lifeboat, offer me the old battery powered grinder from the shed to use. Well, that's much appreciated, and I'll soon get on that and cut that bearing off. A lot easier. I should buy one really. Well, what I've done was bent the seal back and just cut through the bearing. I should now put a big chisel in that, hit that, and that'll split. I'll crack that. Look at that. And that's off. Lovely job. Now I just bend that seal back and job's a good one. And that's the easy way to do that. Well, now with that bearing off, I can just slide this off and give it a light tap and straighten that out. Not perfectly flat, but I'll give it another little tap and I'll get that perfect, and that'll go back on the tree. Well, that shaft isn't perfect, but I've been over at a file and that is good enough really. That's an agricultural bear and that don't go more than 15 mile an hour, so that's good enough. I would like to have a bit of emery cloth and clean it up properly, but I ain't, so that's as good as it's going to get. Well, now you got to get the trusty chisel, go through the back of the hub onto the outer races and just knock them out. They're going to be a bit tight, aren't they? But I'll soon get them out. It won't be a problem. I'll get them in, put it at an angle, and you'll hit the back. And just tap that through. Just get on the lip. As tight as you can imagine. Slowly driving that out, see? You can see a 1/4 inch gap round there now. Now I'll do it on the other side to even it out. You've got to try and knock these out square. So I'm getting my lip. It's awkward, just a lot of corrosion in there. I'll keep going and I'll beat it. Don't know how well you see I started to move down, open up. There's a gap all the way around it. So I'm getting there. That's just the remnants of the Nylos ring. Just keep spinning it around and hit it on every 180. It's flying now. You've got to try and keep it square. Well, I just put that between two fish boxes and hit it and got the outer ring out. It's a bit crusty, but it is what it is. Now I just turned it over and got to knock the other ring out. But that's crusty inside, it'll need a good scraping. Well, if you look in there, all the corrosion's built up and all crusty, so I've got to scrape all that away. Because when I scrape it away, that then leave a lip what I can knock on to knock that outer race out the front. But obviously that's all full of crusty crap at the minute, so just going to scrape all that out. Oh, it's coming out lovely now. Look at the extra square. Knock it on the other side. It's flying now. Nearly there. Just now to go in between the two fish boxes so I'm not hitting against the ground. There you go. Out it come. Lovely job. Better chuck that in the bin bag as well. Okay, it's not spotless conditions, but that is what it is. And I got the two new Nylos rings, the inner and outer bearing, and the hub. So it's time to start putting this together. Plenty of grease. So just smear it all around the Nylos ring. And stick that in. Look at that. Smear a bit of grease in there as well. Give it a smooth around. Grease is your best friend here. It's a waterproof and it keeps water out. Stop everything corroding the buggery. So plenty in there. Before I forget here, I'm going to put that seal back on. There's nothing worse than not putting the seal on. I'll just smear plenty of grease on the back of that Nylos ring and in there. When I put this outer race in and knock that down, that's going to push all that into there, and that's going to be a fair bit on there. So let me just knock that in. This is our trusty old bit of aluminium coming. The thing is, you ought to get it square. I'm not going to have that on there for much longer. It's just going to fall off, isn't it? So you want to get this rings, you want to get this bearing square before you knock it in. It's a bit high that end. So look. Yeah, it is high. Hit at the end of the copper. Once you get it flat, it should go in fairly easy. See that, it's going. Go round keeping it square. God, it's bleeding tight in here. Slowly getting there. This is why you got a good bit of aluminium so you don't damage anything. Nearly hum now. That's getting there. Now it's time. Put the old grease in this side. Plenty of grease in there. And put the other Nylos ring in. I'll smear a bit on here. Stop it corroding so much with the salt water, because you looked at the old one. That was full of salt water, wasn't it? There's nothing left of it. I'll put that in. Smear another bit in there. Grease is cheap in comparison, so we'll put plenty in. Now we'll put that ring in. I like a bit looser. You've got to be careful on these. If you miss the little lip on these outer racers, you might twat the Nylos ring, and then that wouldn't seal, will it? Probably what I hit that on there. Just trying to constantly knock it down to square. Well, as I'm trying to knock this down, it's gone bloody tight. So I'm just going to get the old race and knock that in to knock it down. So now I've used the old outer race to knock that in. Put tissue, put plenty of grease in there. Fill that Nylos ring up totally, the inside of it. Grease is cheap in relative terms. That's all prep ready to go back in. We'll just put the seal back on, smeared it all with grease, the whole lot, all around the lip, the seal. I just now had to go to Norwich and pick up some new Nylos seals because the ones that come with the kit I bought weren't no good. So I had to buy some more kits, and they had kits with them in it. I should have bought the whole lot, but there you go, that's life. So that's all clean on there, greased up. Obviously the bearings slide on, it's starting to get a bit tight there. So what I actually do, it's starting to go tight. So I'll actually use this to put that on. I don't like hitting through the bearings, but sometimes you've got no choice. Smear all that on. This is proper marine grade grease. Put loads on. And give it a turn to try and get it inside the bearing. Smear load in the back, so when that push up against it, that'll all go in. So I've fully loaded the back. By filling up this space, when I knock it fully home, that seal will stay there. That'll push all that grease all the way through the bearing. So now I'm just going to knock that home. Obviously this is all greased up inside. Put that on there. That's need a bit of a knocking, that will. That's like a slide easy now. Check if that's fully home or not. Yeah, see, that bearing's now fully home. A lot of bearings, they say, don't knock the force through the bearing. Well, that's mainly with parallel bearings. This is a taper bearing, so that can take it really. Because the load is designed to go through the bearing, and when you knock it on with the outer race, what's inside the hub, that ain't all bad. Because that's equally loaded across the lot. So we're just going to fill this up to the hilt. You can never stop these from totally going in this application, because you got grease and sand, and we all know sand stick to grease, so you'll never stop this from totally eating itself. That's just life. As people say, listen to your father. The old man said to me, you take these apart every year. You don't replace the bearings, you take them apart, take all the old grease out and repack them. What I think is right. These have been on there 5 years. If you take them apart every year, you don't get none of this crap. So now just packing a load of grease inside the hub. It's nice and full. Then we'll slide it on. Look at that. We get trusty inner bearing in a race. Plenty of grease on it. Seems strange getting greasy hands now, dirty hands. My work is like a lot of these places has gone mad on the old health and safety policy, so you got to wear gloves all the time. Obviously I've done at but at work, that's gloves, gloves, gloves. Most of the time they're okay, but there you go. So push it in, and that's now gone home. Well, as you can see, it's all packed with grease now. All I need to do is put the lock nut on it and tighten it up. Where is that? That's behind me. There's all plenty of grease in there. Grease everywhere. I'm sure I'm still going to pull down a little bit more. So I'll put the lock nut on. I wish I had a spanner big enough, but I ain't.
Well, these ain't got to be mega tight, to be honest. I'm going to do it an horrible way. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't like it, but that is what it is. I've been an engineer for 28 years, working at the same company, so I can't be that bad at it. So what I'm going to do this up to it go tight. And then back it off a bit. Because when this goes tight, that's the only way I can tell that everything's fully home. The old aluminium started to roll over a bit on the ends. If you spin it, you can hear the bubbles coming out and see some grease coming out. I think that's pretty tight, really. Obviously the pin hole. That's pretty tight now. And I started to lock up a bit. So now I've got it fully tight. I start to lock up a bit. And then I knock it back. Knock it back to the next cutout in the castle nut. That'll spin lovely now. When I was an apprentice, they always said do it up tight as you can, then back quarter of a turn. But I don't know if because I ain't got a spanner, I ain't fully compressed it, I don't think. But I still tight it. But when I done it fully tight as I could, that started to bind up. So I just backed it off. Is obviously an eighth of a turn. So now it's backed off nicely, and that's spinner right. But you also got to think in the next few weeks that's going to wear and bed in a little bit. So I don't want to back it off too much. I think in this application an eighth of a turn is perfect. Well, it's no time in to put the old lucky arc clip in. So that go in. I'll put it in that way. And then, cool, that's tight. Then put these in and just pop these over. There we go, just like that. And then just smear the whole lot with plenty of grease. We don't really get that much, we don't get no water ingress from the cap side. We get it from the seal on the back, obviously. That's where all the sand stick. And all the other squid. Just cover all the nut in grease. Because anything get in there, we'll keep them threads rust free if you can. Look at that. Cooking on gas. Well, I just smeared plenty of grease inside the cap. Obviously you want to go around the lip there. That's pretty greasy already, to be honest. Stick it on there. Tap that home. Don't know if you can hear it on video, but as I tap that home and that sort of compressed it, I heard some air fart out the back. Well, I'm now going to make some anti-corrosion love juice. Basically, I just got some oil in there, put some grease in it, give it a stir. You can use wax oil, but I think this is better before stuff was already corroded. I'll just give it a good mix. Wax oil is good, I do use it, but I think that's for better stuff. Stuff was already rusty. You can't beat a bit of grease and oil mixed together.
Well, that's what grease is, isn't it? Grease is mainly a clay base mixed with oil, and the thickness of the clay base dictate how quickly that drop the oil out. So grease is just clay base with oil, so I'm just making it thinner basically. Look at that. Look like your nan's gravy, doesn't it? Full of lumps. Now the dirty horrible job of getting this, painting over everything. So I've got to give that hub a good whack in a small net and knock all the scale off. To break any scale on it, that's virtually bare steel again. So I want to give everything a good painting over. Alright, people like recreational boats, they don't get stuff crusty as this because they don't put it in the sea very often. If they do, they give it a nice bath with the old hose pipe afterwards. A bit like the old man do. The old man obviously keep his boat around his house, so we wash it off every time, but I think the main problem is the bearings heat up, get hot, expel some of the grease, unless you put them in the cold seawater, that then cool down, retract and pull seawater in. You'll never be able to stop it. We've tried them old bearing savers and all that other squit, and that's never really worked. And obviously round here, that's a good birthday too. Oh, you've got the wheel off, you might as well do it. This is a stainless trailer, but obviously the stub axles are mild steel. You can't get stainless stub axles. Right there. I don't actually look too bad considering I'm greasing them, but they've been on 5 years, and I did paint them all Galvafroid. It's like a high zinc paint. It's pretty good shit. Look at that. Cooking with gas now, innit? Just give it a bit of a birthday. One last bit under it. That was all cobwebs. And that is all done and dusted. Well, we all know what the time is now. Put the wheel back on. I've just coated the inside of the wheel with grease and oil. That looked crusty and rusty all over. Let's hope the hydraulics haven't got it all. Put it straight on. Yeah, the old hydraulics are dropped. I'm now going to have to start the tractor up. But as hydraulics are dropped, or there's no pressure on the tyre, I'm going to start the tractor up and lift this up. Well, that's the old tractor on and the hydraulics lifted. Probably too high now.
put them on. Want to get old trusty grease out, paint all them threads. Come on, start your bugger. That's no starting. So now just screw them up. Soon be cooking on gas. Well, now I've done them up, I just knocked the hydraulics down so the wheels on the ground and I can tighten them up properly. Shouldn't be too far away now. I'm not going mega tight with them. Tighten up the opposites, trying to get them a bit square. Tighten it up, I'll just lift the hydraulics back up, give it a wiggle. No. That's been lovely. There's no movement there and it ain't too tight. So that looked pretty good. Only one more thing to do. Get the old magic junk and give everything a liberal coating. Well, that's now all greased up, ready for another year or two. I hope you enjoyed watching it. That was a bit of a bugger, but that show you about getting bearings off in the real world. Not nice shiny ones that look new, but have been pulled off 101 times for demonstration purposes. This is real world bearings. Rusty, crusty, seized, fall to bits, bit of heat, get out the grinder, all fun and games. Well, hope you enjoyed watching it, boys and girls. I'm now going to put the tractor and boat away. Catch you later. Bye.